just go with your fan club. Like, it's a no-brainer. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thanks to the NiFS team. Oh, Ijoma is in here. She always has me here. Oh, Ijoma is here. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for always having us and for doing this for the industry. I have a very short presentation. I haven't been feeling too well, but it's not obvious, Shala. I'm not feeling too well, Abby. It's not too. It's just a bit. So I have a short presentation, but it's about box office, and I think it's important for us to be excited about just box office generally and what cinemas are doing or what is possible. I always say that that's ours, it's our own, it's on ground. And what is more exciting, and we'll go through it very briefly, about this year is that now our films are showing up. And it is so interesting to be in this time and to see what is possible and just excited. So we're going to get into it. It's very short. Next slide, please. Or first slide. First slide, please. Hello. Okay. Okay, so whilst we wait for them to get started, the first slide is about the highlights, so I can speak to that before it comes up. We've come into a year that I think Moses referenced it, where it's no surprise or no one can say they don't know that there's a squeeze going on or what is going on with streamers, whatever it is. But what that has meant is that a lot more films are coming to the cinemas this year, next year, and we started the year where, I remember, like, if you're thinking 4 or 5 years back, a lot of Nollywood films wait till December before they release their films. A lot of the big studios would wait. They'll say, no, I want a December film, I want this. I mean, that is still going on to an extent right now. But we're seeing much bigger films coming earlier in the year. We're seeing some in February, March. Everyone is staying away from January, and rightfully so, because the December buzz is still, going on there. Some people are bold, still coming in January, but we're seeing a lot more films. People are coming in February, people are coming in March, April, and all of that, and that has shown this year. Last year, in 2023, we ended the year from a box office point of view, 7.3 billion is what the industry did. Half year this year, January to June, we've done 4.3 billion. Granted, the ticket prices have gone up, but people are still coming out. What we try to sort of work against, or what we're trying to fight against, is admissions, right? Admissions numbers have been going down since 2021. And what I'm happy when I look at this year's one is that when I look at what happened, oh gosh, I wish the slides were here. It would be so much easier. When I look at what happened in 2023, from January to June 2023, as compared with January to June 2024, the decline is much smaller. So we've gone from like a decline of 13% to a decline of 4%, which is good news. Any help? Yeah? Half year, yes, I can do that. Half year, January till June 2024 is 4.3 billion. And to put that in perspective or context is 2023 ended the year with 7.3 billion. So we've done more than half of what 2023 did. Higher ticket prices. We've had, 10 new cinemas that have opened in the first 6 months, because the data I'm showing today is first 6 months. But even in July, we've had 2 more cinemas open in July. And I know that I already know of people that we're speaking to that are already saying, are coming with this cinema, we're coming with that cinema. And what is interesting about it, or what I like about it, is that it's not only in Lagos, which is what always worries me, because Lagos is 50% of our market already. So but there are people in Benin, there are people in Asaba, there are people in Calabar, like open cinemas there. So when I see that a lot of people are doing that and taking that risk, it's quite interesting to see, and it makes the job sweeter, because it means that there are more people that will watch the film. There are a lot of, there's some very, very interesting cinemas that have come up. There's Sanford in Ekpoma, doing fantastic numbers. There's Hoagie's Cinema in Calabar that opened this year as well. So there are a few cinemas that have opened. Sorry. Okay. Um, I'll just keep going off the top of my head, but and what I have here. Sorry, one sec. Okay. So I was talking about 10 cinemas that have opened this year from January till June. We have two in Ibadan that I can see here. Two in Ibadan. Ace Cinema has two locations in Ibadan. Film House Palms, that was a cinema that was obviously it existed before. It was closed. It's opened again. I already talked about Hoagie Cinema in Calabar. Talked about Sanford Cinema in Ekpoma in Edo. Then there's Silverbird in Lekki. There's Prime Cinemas in Liberia. They used to have a cinema many, many years ago, and then it closed because of COVID, and then they've come back, so that's nice to see. There's Pepperoni Cinemas in Lagos as well. I have a chart here that just sort of shows the half year. I have a chart here that shows the half year performance, and you can see the progression. So it's a 4-year, half year performance. I'm hoping that everything comes up now. Yay! Okay, this is the front page. Next page, please. So I already spoke to the highlights, and I'll just go through it really quickly. The first one is talking about the box office numbers for the year. It was 4.65, not even 4.35, but I got the 4 billion shot. So 4.65, and it's from 113 titles. I put the number of cinemas that are open or were open as at January to June 2024, and then 91, which includes Nigeria, Ghana, and Liberia. Average ticket price at the end of June was 3,800 naira. I love this stat, by the way. The next one, 18 titles have grossed the 100 million naira mark in 2024, which is huge. And Nigerian-produced titles, Nollywood, accounts for 48.4% of the performance. So which means that of the 4.6 billion, I beg your pardon, 4.6 billion that the industry has done, Nollywood films account for 48.4% of. That's exciting. Like, we should be clapping for the filmmakers. That's exciting. Next slide, please. Again, I already spoke about this. These are the cinemas that opened from January to June as well. There are 10 of them. They're all, well, save for Film House and Silverbird, they're all independent cinemas, which I love. And one thing I wanted to mention about, because I know, cinemas, when you set up, they will tell you that if you're setting up what is called a DCI compliant cinema, it's somewhere between 400 million and 600 million. But people are now doing Nollywood cinemas, which I absolutely love, which means you don't need the expensive, it's still not cheap to set up, but it is possible, especially now that community cinemas are coming up. So people are setting up viewing centers, one-screen cinemas where you can watch Nollywood films with the DCP, it's called something, DCP formats. There we go, DCP format. And we support those very, very well because, again, the goal is to support Nollywood as best as we can. We can't do it all, but support those films, support the cinemas wherever they need them, because that's the future, really. Next slide, please. Then this is a half-year analysis over the past 4 years. What has been done here is half-year 2021 till 2024. So you can see how the blue bars is the box office, and the yellow line is admissions. So again, box office has gone up, which we know because ticket prices have gone up. In black, you can see the ticket prices have gone up from, 1,300 in 2021 to 3,800. I think at the end of this year, it's going to be closer to 5,500, but that's what I feel. And actually, that's what the data is telling me. Ticket prices have gone up, but if you see the decline between 2023 and 2024, you can see that it's very, very marginal. It's only a 4% drop as compared to all the other years that was like 13%, etc. This is an indication that it is steadying, and we hope going into the year that this will be the first time in the past 4 years that we will have admissions number actually pick up. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now, doing a January to June 2024 deep dive, I think I mentioned earlier that Nollywood market share is 48.4, Hollywood is 49.1. What isn't shown here is how Indian films are picking up. In fact, some of one of my favorite people, Ebony Life, reached out the other day asking for Indian films to say, oh, they're getting a lot of requests. I've gotten that from Film House Lekki as well. You can see that they actually contributed 1.4% to box office performance in the first 6 months. Released 22 titles as well. Again, I'm mentioning 18 titles have grossed over the 100 million naira mark. Again, the 100 million is like what we use for, like, I guess in the US is the 1 billion mark. But for us, when you've done 100 million, you have tried. You are counted. So it's something that we're very, very pleased about. Next slide, please. Spotlight on Nollywood. I thought that this was very important to talk about because, again, this is performance from January to June. It's the first time, actually, ever, that we've had two films do over 200, two Nollywood do over 200 million naira in the first half of the year. Usually we will have none. In 2021, which is when I believe King of Thieves came out, we had one. And that was when he came out and did 320-something million. But this year we've had three, actually, if you add Lakatabu, that have done over 200 million. We've had 6 Nollywood titles gross over 100 million naira mark, and 9 titles do over 50 million naira. I think it's quite impressive, and we should clap for the filmmakers. It's not easy. And then we did go through a phase in Nollywood where everyone was saying, oh, it had to be comedy. The only thing that works in cinema is comedy. What I'm happy about, and if you look at these pictures, is that there's epic, there's comedy, there's action, there's even a biopic. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti that did 157, There's rom-com that did 132, So it means that it's more in the positioning of the film and who is in it, and we all know that there's this actor-producer thing that also adds a certain, effect to it as well. But it's not one genre that works in cinema, so that one is a myth, and hopefully this is enough to make everyone know that it's not true. Forget it. Next slide, please. Now, based on all this information, forecasts. I know that a couple people here have said 10 billion, but I've looked at the December slate again. I think it's more like 11. Last December alone did 1 billion. 1 billion, actually maybe 1.2 billion, just in a month. This month, there's Everybody Loves Jennifer. There's Thin Line. There's Alakada. There's Mufasa. There's Sonic the Hedgehog. There's Moana that's coming at the end of November, which is a December film. There's Wicked. I don't know how all those films... Sorry? There's Gladiator that comes out November 15, which is a December film. I don't know how all of those films only do 1 billion. I don't see how they're not 2 billion. And the December starts a bit earlier this year because the second week-ish in December is December 13th. So these films start to release from December 13th, which means we have more time for it to make more money in December as opposed to last year where it started from December 16th. I think that it's an 11 billion month. 11 billion year and not 10 billion. And yeah, if I'm right, I'll just deny. If I'm not right, I'll just deny that I said it. I'll still deny AI. I didn't say it. No, but I really think that it is. And I think, if you look at admissions as well, I think that it would either be steady or it will maybe be a bit higher, just based on it. And again, this is based on ticket prices. Again, we've gone from 2,300 to 3,800 by June. I am so sure that by December, it'll be closer to 5,000 naira. When ticket prices go up, when the films are, and again, these are IPs that people recognize, whether it's Sonic, whether it's Mufasa, whether it's ELG, whether it's Alakada, they already have an existing audience. So that's already 300 million. So it's just the rest. So that's my expectation. Next slide, please. And the last slide. Full year 2024 expectations. Again, I already said it's December to remember. I think that this December is going to be one we're going to be talking about for a very long time. I've seen some, I didn't mention AY also has a film this December, The Waiter. So that's another one. So I think it's going to be a December to remember. I think ticket prices are going to be the highest we've ever seen. Everything, once dollar moves by 2 naira, then everything in naira moves by 1,000. So, and we know what's going to happen in December. Next thing is Nollywood versus Hollywood. I think somebody said that earlier that in 2025, Nollywood will have a stronger market share. I think that it might actually happen this year, just based on how it is right now. If by half year we're already at 48%, and we do have a lot of content coming out. September, look at Queen Latifah. We also have Farmer's Bride as well. In October, we have, you see, come with your fan club, you guys. In October, there's some strong ones as well, November as well. So I think that this is the year that Nollywood takes that we have a bigger market share than Hollywood. And of course, cinema experiences. There was an announcement I saw on my way here today, just on Ebony Life and Nile with the luxury pods as well. I think that is something that you're going to be seeing a lot of. I didn't even know that when I did this in terms of talking about the cinema experience and people focusing on what people experience and how people feel when they come into the cinema. I think that is something that towards the tail end of 2024 into 2025 is something that we should expect and something that we're going to see. I hope with these few points of mine, you believe and trust in cinema. And next slide, please. And last but not the least, come with your fan club. Thank you very much.